Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Panimalar Institute of Technology. I welcome you all for this session. Today we are having the eminent speaker, Dr. Lavanya Danesh, Associate Professor, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Panimalar Institute of Technology. He did his undergraduation in Electrical and Electronics Engineering and post-graduation in Embedded System Technologies. And he did his PhD in Satyabama University on the topic a novel approach in scheduling of real-time tasks by implementing efficient scheduling algorithms. He had around 15 years of experience in teaching. He published more than 10 papers in the international conferences and more than 10 papers in the international journals and national journals. With this few words of introduction, I request Dr. Lavanya Danesh to take over the session. Please, ma'am.
I'll start sharing the screen. A very pleasant good afternoon to all of you present here. I'm really privileged and I thank our management, principal ma'am, HOD and staff members for giving me this opportunity to present my ideas on electric vehicle. Yes, may I know the screen, whether the screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am, your screen is
Okay,
visible.
sir. Thank you very much for your kind introduction, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. So in AST sponsored STTP on electric vehicle technology, we are going to discuss about the re-energizing systems in electric vehicle. So before that, what is the why we are going for that electric vehicle? What is that many people are interested in going into the electric vehicle technology? What is the reason behind it? Already we know this because you have already attended all the 5 days and many of you know all the knowledge about the electric vehicle. But here I'll be just giving an introduction. I'll start with the topic. So electric vehicles actually they have very less noise and they don't depend upon the oil, that is our petrol like that, and there is no carbon emission, and finally there is no there is pollution free. So everybody in this environment, they are asking, they are just interested to move along to the electric vehicle. That is the reason. And if you see that electric vehicle, it is 4 times energy efficient. It is 4 times energy efficient than our internal combustion engine, and it is 50 times less moving parts. So the efficiency, when you compare with that IC engines, our electric vehicle will be having a very good efficiency of 90%. So these are the general points I'm just discussing with you. When we see about the pillars, so for electric mobility system, what are all the main pillars of this? We have totally 4 main pillars. One is our electric plug-in hybrid sections, and the second one is your batteries. Batteries are very important pillar in the electric vehicle. Then we have the re-energizing systems, and finally we have some other factors included. So here we are going to discuss about the re-energizing systems in the electric vehicles. So in electric vehicle, if you see, there are various parts. All these things you'll be knowing: plug, regenerative brakes, recharging battery, controller circuits, and we have electric motors. So what is the need for electric vehicle? So what are all the needs we are going to have for the electric vehicle is, we can classify into 3 modes. Before that, I would like to ask you a question. In which year the electric vehicle has been designed? Any one of you have any idea? If you have any idea, you can put it in the chat box. I'll see the chat box also. So when did that electric vehicle come into existence? If you have any idea, please you can put it in the chat box. In which year the electric vehicle came into existence? Yes, nobody? Around, you can approximately, you can say. Okay. Okay, then I'll move to the PPT. So electric vehicle, actually it is being implemented, that is they have been designed the electric vehicle in 1890s itself. So from previous, from the old years itself, we are having electric vehicle, but day by day there will be some modifications. That is the thing. and we are having various modes. What are the various modes of electric vehicle? Whatever vehicle may be, we have to have either air, rail, road, water, cable, pipeline, or space. So these are all the modes. And if you see the infrastructure, okay, elements, what are the elements we have is infrastructure, vehicles, operation, and policy. And finally, what is the impact? Impact is economic and planning and environment. So these are all the various needs we are going to concentrate on this electric vehicles. Okay, now generally we know the types of the electric vehicles. Yes, so we have three types. Totally, we are having three types of electric vehicle. So battery electric vehicle, then a hybrid electric vehicle, and a plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. So battery electric vehicle means it is operated only on the battery, right? But in the case of plug-in, in the case of hybrid, what is the case here is there is no battery at all. Okay, battery will be present, but what is the case here is no provision for charging. So that is the case for the hybrid. And plug-in, if you say, you will be having same case as that of our normal engine, like engine, fuel tank, everything will be having. But what is the case here is it is plug-in hybrid. So hybrid means what is it? Is having the combination of both the battery as well as the fuel tank. Now my question is, I'll just move to before slide. My question is, can you say me which type of electric vehicle requires charging infrastructures? Anybody? So totally we'll be having three types, I told you. So in the three types, which will be having the charging infrastructure, which requires charging infrastructures? So anybody can put in the chat box also. So totally we are having three kinds of batteries, I told you. If you please interact with me, you can type in the chat box also, no problem. But please interact with me. So totally we'll be having three types of electric vehicle. So in that, may I know which type of electric vehicle requires charging infrastructures? No idea. Okay, then I'll move to the slide itself. So here, if you see, battery electric vehicle and plug-in electric vehicles alone, they require charging infrastructures, okay, because these two are having the provision for charging. But in the case of hybrid electric vehicle, there is no provision for charging. So we are not having charging infrastructure facility for the hybrid electric vehicle. But in the case of battery electric vehicle and in the case of plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, we are having the charging provision. So these two are being required for charging infrastructure. Okay. Next, in analyzing the charging of electric vehicle, we have to see two main parameters. One is we are going to analyze proper battery voltage, and another one is analyzing proper AH. Okay, so proper battery voltage. Anybody of you know what is meant by the C rating of a battery? C rating of a battery. Have you heard of C rating of a battery? Yes. What is meant by C rating of a battery? Okay. So C rating of a battery is actually a very important term we have to understand whenever we are learning about the charging of the electric vehicle. Okay. Suppose, for example, you are having an e-bike. So that e-bike, you are using a BLDC motor for the e-bike of 1 kilowatt and 48 voltage. So for 1 kilowatt 48 voltage, I am writing these three cases. 90 Ah, 90 Ah, I am writing as three cases. One is 90 ampere for 1 hour. Second one, I am writing it 45 Ah, I am writing it as 45 ampere for 2 hours. And 30 Ah, I am writing it as 30 ampere for 3 hours. Can you say me which one is correct? Any one out of these three, whether the 3 is correct or any one of is correct or 2 is correct? Yes. You can unmute and say also, no problem. You can unmute and because sometimes
one is correct.
Yes, excellent. One is correct actually. So 90 Ah actually it is 90 ampere for 1 hour. It is 90 ampere for 1 hour. So Ah stands for ampere for 1 hour. So how much ampere the bike takes for 1 hour? That is your Ah. So this AH value is very, very important before we are going into the charging cases. So if you see this two, if you are seeing this 45 and this 30, these both are not correct. Actually, they are not correct. Okay, so 90 AH means whatever AH comes means it is only for 1 hour, ampere for 1 hour. So that is the case here. Yes, plus if you better, you can unmute and talk. That will be better for me if I ask any questions or we can interact. So here, so analyzing when we say the battery, it is very, very important. We have to see the two factors. One is proper battery voltage and another one is proper AH. So here, if I'm writing that AH represents your 90 ampere per hour. Okay. Then next one is C rating of a battery. Yes, anybody has an idea of C rating of a battery? If you know, you can unmute and say, otherwise I'll go on with it. C rating. Have you heard of C rating actually? Because this is a very, very important term. We have to know whenever we learn about that electric vehicle. That is very, very important term. Okay. So what is that C rating? Actually, C rating of a battery is charge and discharge rates of battery are governed by C rates. So the capacity of a battery is commonly rated as 1C, meaning fully charged battery rated for 1 ampere hour. So C rating actually means it is fully charged battery for 1 hour. Okay, that is your C rating. So based on the C rating only, the electric vehicles will be decided. So for example, if you take C rating is 1C, okay, we are talking about that C, right? So 1C means what is the meaning is it is 1 hour discharge. 1 hour discharge. Suppose if it is 0.5 C or C by 2 means it is 2-hour discharge. And suppose if it is C by 5 means it is 5-hour discharge. So the C rating of a battery is very, very important. And you should know an idea, you should get an idea of that C rating. Okay. Next we'll go to that. Battery consumption. So this is the general consumptions we will not be knowing. We'll be generally knowing about e-bike, e-vehicle, everything will be knowing. But everywhere we should know the parameters and range for all the vehicles. Okay, that generally one rough idea we should have. So here, for example, if you say the results that when you see in city side, what are the results of the various electrical equipments we have? For example, in a scooter, we have 33 WH per kilometer. Okay, WH stands for watt hour. So 33 watt hour per kilometer for a scooter. Then for a three-wheeler, it is around 61. It is just an around value. Okay, 61 watt hour per kilometer. Then for low power four-wheeler, it is 84 watt hour per kilometer. And for high power four-wheeler, it is 123 watt hour per kilometer. So these are the rough values. We should have an idea whenever we design an electric vehicle. We should know all these general features we should be knowing. Okay. Next about battery charging will go. So what will happen whenever a battery is charged, how it will happen is from the power source through the power grid, we are going to charge the battery. So what is the mediators? We are having two types of coupling, conductive coupling and inductive coupling. So conductive coupling, what do you mean by that? Conductive coupling is, we can take an example of a laptop charger or phone charger. So what we are doing, we are connecting the plug and we are connecting the phone or laptop through some particular pin we are connecting, right? So directly we are connecting through some wires and we are giving the supply and we are making it to charge. So that is your conductive coupling. But inductive coupling, what do you mean by inductive coupling? Inductive coupling is wireless charging. Wireless charging is the inductive coupling. So through these two types, any two types, we can charge the battery through the power grid. So here we are having the types of charging. So conductive charging, I told you, conductive charging and wireless charging. So in conductive charging, we can have two types, AC charging and DC charging. And we have that Europe IEC, ICE and SAE. They are the company. I'll say you in the upcoming slides. Then DC charging, we have Chademo and SAE and Tesla. So these are all the types of charging we have. So conductive charging is a wired charging and wireless charging is the inductive charging. Okay. Okay, next battery charging. When you see the charging time, if you see the battery charging time is given in hours. So there we are going to discuss. So battery capacity. So it is the ratio of the battery capacity to the charging power. So battery capacity, we are giving the term as kilowatt hour, and charging power we are giving the term as kilowatt. So what will happen? This two gets divided and we can get the charging time and hours. Okay. So this is the charging time. Now we are going to see that factors which depends upon the charging. So charging factor depends upon what type of factors we have. So first one is the power supply. So charging time, I can charge as 1 hour, 2 hour, or 1 day, or 2 days, whatever it is. So the time of charging will be based on the type of. So when it is,
Ma'am, 1 minute, ma'am.
yes sir.
Ma'am, Lavanya, ma'am.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Someone is sharing the screen, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Some other screen is coming.
So please, those who are sharing the screen, just cut it. The session is going on. I think it is Amarti.
Yes, show me, show me.
So please cut the sharing.
It's not coming. Some other screen is coming.
Ma'am, now you can present, ma'am.
Okay sir, thank you sir. So the charging time will depend upon the various factors we have. There is a screen visible, sir?
Not yet, ma'am.
Not yet. Okay. Again, I'll present once again.
So participants, please don't try to share your screen since the session is going on.
Is it visible?
Now it is visible, ma'am.
Okay. So the charging time, it depends upon the various factors, very, very important factors. One is the power supply, then charger power, charging voltage, and charging current. So these are all the various factors we are going to see. So power supply, we can have single phase supply, 3-phase supply, or DC supply. So we can have any type of supply, because the charging may be a single phase charging or 3-phase we are having, and we are having DC charging also. DC chargers also we are having. So in the upcoming slides we'll be discussing. Then charger power. So powers, if you see 3.3 kilowatt, 7.4 kilowatt, 11 kilowatt, or 22 kilowatt charger power is there. And charging voltage we may be 230 volt, 400 volt, or 500 volt. And charging current may be 16 ampere, 32 ampere, etc. So when you see the charging time depends upon these types of factors, very, very important factors. Now we have a term called electric vehicles charging infrastructure. So what is that electric vehicle charging infrastructure? We call it as electric vehicle charging, that is a supply equipment, electric vehicle supply equipment. So the chargers are embedded in the electric vehicle, and the EVSE allows the electric vehicle to be charged safely. So here we are having the particular embedded systems, okay, electric vehicle, and we are going to charge safely. EVSE plays a very, very important role in charging safely. So what are all the functions you have? What are all the very, very important functions of the EVSE? If you see, EVSE is a protocol to keep the user and electric vehicle safe while charging, because it is not like going to the petrol bunk and putting the petrol and coming back. Okay, so electric vehicle charging, we have to concentrate a lot of parameters, and we have to understand, because they are very dangerous also. So electric vehicle actually protocol, we have to keep the user and the electric vehicle safe while charging. So using two-way communication between the charger and electric vehicle, the correct charging current is set. So two-way communication is very, very important. Okay, charger we have electric vehicle. So charger and electric vehicle have to be properly communicated with each other. So the maximum current the charger can provide. So charger, it should provide the maximum current, how much current it can provide, and the electric vehicle, how much it can receive. So these two should be estimated. These two should be decided. So that is the thing here. Next, preventing current from flowing when the charger is not connected to the electric vehicle. So when the charger is not connected to the electric vehicle, so what will happen? Sometimes if there is a flow of current, so it is a dangerous effect, right? So EVSE will be very cautious in checking that whether the charger is connected properly. If it is not properly connected, then automatically it will not prevent it will prevent the current from flowing. Next, it ensures that if a cable is not correctly inserted, power will not flow. So that is the thing I told you. Then EVSE can also detect hardware faults. Suppose I want to just connect a thing. What happens is the EVSE, what happens is it will detect various hardware faults also, okay, disconnecting the power and prevents battery damage. So if there is any problem in the electric vehicle battery or something like that, it will prevent the battery damage by disconnecting. and electrical shocks. So sometimes there may be firing also. So all these factors should be included when we go for this electric vehicle charging conditions. Okay, so that is the thing here. Next, charging modes, very important part. Charging modes. So what are all the various charging modes we have, and what are the voltage levels and all the types of parameters we are having. Okay, so here when you say we are having 3 types of charging modes: level 1, level 2, and fast charging. So voltage, when you see in level 1 it is 120 volt, in level 2 it is 208 or 240 volt, and in the case of fast charging it is 200 to 450 voltage. Next, current type, if you see, for level 1 and level 2 they are AC supply, but for fast charging we are going for DC supply. Yes. Can anyone of you say battery, what is the type of charge stored in the battery, please? What is the type?
What is that, madam? What is the time of charging?
What is it? Yes, sir. Supply. What is the type? What is the type of charge that is stored in the battery?
Is a continuous charging like that?
Continuous charging. Okay. No. So I'm asking whether it is stored as AC or DC supply. Charging. Mode of charging. I'm asking. Okay. So here, what is the thing here? Thing here is it will be stored as a DC power. Okay. So when it is stored as a DC power, so so when you give supply, if it is stored as a DC power, the charging will be more. I'm getting some echo.
Mode of charging is through station.
Yes, mode of charging is through station. Okay, sir. So what is that? How it is stored? Whether it is stored as a AC supply or DC supply power? That is thing on 1 minute. Yes, DC. I'm getting the answer from the chat also. Thank you. Because chat, I have to come out and I have to check. That is the thing. So why I'm saying this is, when I give AC supply, that AC supply should be converted into DC. Then we are going to give to a particular thing. So, for example, when you see that DC charging is directly when you put DC supply means, so the charging will be faster. So that is the case here. Okay, that is the reason I'm saying. Then next, useful power, if you see 1.4 kilowatt for level 1 and 7.2 kilowatt for level 2, and fast charging it is 50 kilowatt. So difference, you see the difference, lot of difference between level 1, level 2 and fast charging. Fast charging, when you see, it is having a drastic difference compared to our level 1 and level 2. Then maximum output, when you see, it is 1.9 kV, 1.9 kilowatt for level 1, 19.2 kilowatt for level 2, and it is for fast charging it is 150 kilowatt. Okay, so power also, output power for the case of fast charging is very high. Then charging time, that is our basic factor. Yes, whenever we want charging, we want the charging time to be reduced. We should not have that more charging time. So for level 1 charges, when you see, the charging time is 12 hours or around. This are all around values. Okay, they are approximated values. They are not exact values actually. And then charging time for level 2, when you see, it is 3 hours, and the charging time for fast charging is just 20 to 30 minutes. So when we go on, see, this fast charging has a very it has lot of advantages compared to all the other types of charging. Then connector, a very important connector we should know. We should get an idea of this connector, J1772. So J1772 is a connector we'll be using everywhere. For level 1 we'll be using, for level 2 also we'll be using, and for fast charging we are going to have a combo. What is that? This is Stardimo and supercharger. So I'll show you the pictures of all these things also. So these are all the parameters, and in level 1, level 2 and fast charging. Okay. Now charging of an electric vehicle, it depends upon what? So battery, vehicle, and type of EVSE. So already we have discussed that. Now level 1 charging, we should have a very good idea of different types of charge. Just we have noted that voltage, current, everything, but we should have a very deep knowledge of this type of charging. Okay, in re-energizing of this electric vehicle, we should have this topic. So level 1 charging, if you see, the charging is done with AC supply that we have discussed. So in level 1 charging, 2 to 5 miles range per hour charging. So for 1 hour charging, we can go to 2 to 5 miles, we can go in the case of level 1 charging, and 120 voltage AC switch. So it is a AC supply given charging. So it is 120 voltage and capable of current, if you see, 15 to 20 ampere of current for a power drawn of 1.4 kilowatt. So what is the case here is there is no additional charging equipment required. So just we are going to connect the charger and we are going to charge it. That's all. So we have a cord, separate cord for a household plug, and we have a standard connector. So that connector I told you, J1772 is the connector for level 1 charging. But each and every charging, we have some advantages and disadvantages also. So in the case of level 1 charging, what are all the advantages you see? It is low installation cost. Low installation cost. And second one is low impact on electric utility peak demand charges, which is often applied to commercial accounts. So peak demand charges gets increased in the case of level 1 charging. And the disadvantage is low impact. It has low impact. Okay, peak demand charges are having low impact. So it is an advantage for level 1 charging. And the disadvantages you see is charging is very slow. So I told you already we will be discussing the time. So time of charging, when you see in level 1, it is only it is around 12 hours. So it will take a lot of time for charging. But in the case of level 2, it is less. But compared to level 1 and level 2, the fast charging, it is very, very, very quick way of charging. In the now level 2 charging, when you go, so level 2 charging, I gave you the voltage. So what is the case here is it's provide charging through 240 volt, 200. We can have 240 volt and 200 volt voltage. So 240 volt will be used for residential applications, and 208 voltage is for commercial applications. We'll be using it for commercial applications. So hardwired, it is for safe operation. Our installation should be very hard. You're going to use hard wires, because there should not be any leakage of the current. So there should be hard wire, and the current is 20 to 80 amperes. So all these parameters, all these voltage, current value, everything, we should have an idea when we are going to design an electric vehicle. So when we are doing any project or something like that, everywhere we should get an idea of all the types of charging and what are all the parameters, everything we should have an idea. So here also in level 2 charging, we are having some advantages and disadvantages. So level 2 charging advantages, when the charging time is less. So 12 hours for level 1 means it is 3 hours only for level 2. So charging time, when you see, it is less than level 1. Then EV electric vehicles, when they kept 10 to 20 miles, they can go up to 10 to 20 miles for 1 hour of charge. So distance covered is more compared to our level 1, and it is more energy efficient. So when compared to level 1, it is more energy efficient. But what are all the disadvantages? When you see the disadvantages, you see installation costs are higher than the level 1 charges. Okay, installation costs are higher. So because we are going to use a hard wire, everything we are going to use, so installation charges will be higher. Then potentially higher impact on electric utility. So this peak demand charges, it has an impact on peak demand charges. But in level 1, we don't have like that. But in level 2, potentially higher impact on electric utility peak demand charges. Then it requires dedicated circuit breakers, electric wires for providing charge. So whenever we want to charge, we are going to have some additional protective equipment, circuit breakers, electric wires, everything we should be having for charging. So these may be the disadvantages, or these are all the disadvantages of level 2 charging. Now we move to the third type of charging. So any doubts in this? So if you have doubts also, you can ask in the last, no problem. So levels of charging of an electric vehicle when the DC fast charging. So third case, a very, very important type, and we are very, very advanced type is the DC fast charging. So here, if you see, it will go up to 60 to 80 miles. So see the difference between the level 1, level 2 and DC fast charging. So it will go up to 60 to 80 miles of range in a plug-in electric vehicle in 20 minutes of charging. So 20 minutes of charging, when you put, we can go up to 60 to 80 miles. So large distance can be covered in DC fast charging. Next, 480 volt AC input. Then rated power is 50 kilowatt. So this and all we have discussed. and rapid charging at sites such as heavy traffic. So it is having a very good way of rapid charging, okay, very fast charging. And here Tesla superchargers, you can Google also, you can see Tesla superchargers are being employed everywhere, and they are the one of the best DC fast chargers. They are rating at 120 kilowatt. So the kilowatt, if you see the power, if you see in Tesla superchargers, it is around 120 kilowatt of power. So DC fast charging, what are all the DC fast charging you have is ChargeMo. I told you, it is used by Nissan, Mitsubishi and Kia. The company, these are all the company, they are utilizing these types of chargers. And SAE combo used by American and Europeans makes such that Chevrolet, BMW and Mercedes-Benz, all these things will be using this fast charging. And Tesla superchargers are used exclusively for Tesla. So as the name Tesla superchargers, that model is being used by the Tesla. They also announced an adapter allowing their owners to use ChargeMo equipment. So now what they are doing a research of producing or creating one adapter that can connect ChargeMo charger also. So there is a research going on in that. So these are all the various DC fast charging in electric vehicles. So DC fast charging also have some advantages and disadvantages. So everywhere when we have some sophistication or when we want some additional facility, then automatically the cost, if you see, the cost will be greater, higher, right? So here advantages, when you see the charging time is reduced drastically, and typically we are 30 minutes for an 80% of charging. So 30 minutes is is enough for 80% of charging. Then disadvantages, again the same thing. Equipment and installation cost will be very higher compared to level 1 and level 2 charging, and potentially higher impact on electric utility peak demands. So it also affects, even level 2 also will have that peak utility demand, it will impact on that peak utility demand. Even DC fast charging also will impact on that utility peak demands. Then potential issues with cold weather operation requires increased charging time. So increased charging time, these are some additional things. Okay, environmental conditions, what it will do, it will affect the charging time. Then requires less maintenance. Okay, high maintenance. So we require high maintenance. That is one disadvantage here. So these are all the different types of charges: level 1, level 2, and DC fast charging, and various parameters, and what is the time of charging, and how it is charged, and what are all the advantages and disadvantages. Everything we have discussed. So SAE terminology, according to SAE terminology, we have level 1, level 2, level 3. So level 1, level 2, when the level goes on increasing, what will happen? The charging time will get reduced. For that only I have this PPT. So when we go on going on to the level 3, the charging time of that particular electric vehicle is reduced. So these are all the chargers. When you see level 1 type of charger, so this is one level 1 type of charger. Say level 2 type of charger, and these are the fast DC fast chargers. So pics of all these things will be getting an idea of all these things. So here we are having the types of connectors. Okay, types of connectors for that particular charging: AC connector and DC connectors. So AC connectors, when you see, we are having different names, each and every name. So our one SAE J1772. This is the one I'm from the previous thing I'm just discussing. No, SAE J1772. That is the very, very important connector we are using everywhere. Majority of the area, when you see, this type of connectors are being employed. So first one is a 3-pin connector. It is a 3 kilowatt single phase connector. So you are given a name for that, BS1363. Similarly, for each and everything we are giving a name, and each and every one will have a particular kilowatt for single phase or 3 phase or whatever it is. And for DC connectors, I told you, ChargeMo, CCS and Tesla. So these are all the important ones. So the ChargeMo, this is ChargeMo 50 kilowatt, and 50 CC is also 50 kilowatt, and Tesla is 120 kilowatt. So Tesla superchargers, they are having a very good output of 120 kilowatt. So here every vehicle need to have onboard chargers. So I'll tell you about this onboard and outboard chargers also. So AC connectors, I have put a separate slide for this also. So here we are having we are having the various pins. Okay, line L1, L2, L3, and lines we are having. We are giving the names as CP, PP, and PE. So what are all these things? So what is the case of PP is a proximity pilot. PP stands for proximity pilot. Okay, proximity pilot. What is the purpose of it? So here it prevents the movement of electric vehicle while connected to the charger. So that is important. When we go on connecting or charger connect, when we connect the charger to the particular vehicle, it should not move. It should be fixed properly. And vehicle also should not move. Both the cases we have to see. Okay. So here, if you see proximity pilot, it prevents the movement of the electric vehicle while connected to the charger. So whenever whenever we connect the charger to the electric vehicle, automatically the electric vehicle stops. It will not move. So we are having that settings and all. Okay. For example, in the case of our washing machine, also when we put the close and when we close, if the work is not completed, we cannot open the door. So same case also everywhere we have to have that safety measures, because the safety measures will prevent us from dangerous effects. So here prevents the movement of electric vehicle when it is connected with the charger. So proximity pilot, we call it as PP, proximity pilot. Then we have CP. CP stands for control pilot. So control pilot, what is the communication line used to coordinate charging level between the electric vehicle and the charger? Okay, so I told you, we are going to have a good communication between the charger and the electric vehicle. So the charger should say how much it can get the energy, and the electric vehicle should say how much it can give that energy. So that should be proper coordination between the charger and the electric vehicle. So control pilot looks after that. So 1 kilohertz square wave at plus or minus 12 volts generated by the electric vehicle supply on the control pilot to detect the presence of the vehicle, communicate the maximum allowable charge, and control charging. So we are having three main functions. Presence of vehicle. Okay, whether the vehicle is present, electric vehicle is present, and communicate with the maximum allowable charge. Communicate the maximum allowable charge. What is the allowable charge it can give? And the third one is control charging. So proper controlling. So after that, how it can control the charge. So these are all the, so if you see in the pin, we have PP, PP, CP. Okay. And what about this L1, L2, L3 are the lines, three-phase lines we are because I told it is a, we can give AC supply. Okay, we can give AC supply here. So three-phase lines, for that we are giving that L1, L2, L3, and that one is neutral. And that one is neutral. And we have N stands for neutral, and P stands for protecting earth. Okay, protective earth. So we have neutral as well as earth. What is the difference between neutral and earth? Any idea? General question, because we have a neutral point and we have earth also. This is PE stands for protective earth. Yes, can put in the chat box also. Sorry, some questions you can see. Yes, what is the purpose of this? Yes. So neutral, actually it is a neutral point for three phase. Without the neutral, there will not be any, there should be definitely a neutral point, right? For the three phase. In the case of earth, it is used for the grounding purpose, but in neutral, there is no flow of the current, right? But in the earth, we are going to have that for proper protection. Okay, for that we are using. Okay, so that is the thing. So here, these are all the parameters included, and AC connectors, we are having that. So this thing I have discussed. Now in DC connectors, so DC connectors, one of the most important DC connectors is that CHAdeMO, right? CHAdeMO. So CHAdeMO, it is, what is that abbreviation? The CHAdeMO is an abbreviation of a charge D move. That is move using charge or move by charge. So we are going to move that particular vehicle by charge. Okay, so that we are calling it as CHAdeMO. It uses CAN protocol. Okay, controller area network CAN protocols we are using, and what are the company we are using, that we already discussed. Nissan and Mitsubishi companies and all are using that. And then what is that outboard charger? I'll say you onboard and outboard chargers. I'll say you. So it is 6.2, 62.5 kilowatt by 500 volt and 125 ampere offboard charge. So we can go for offboard charger and onboard charger. I'll say what is it. Then for fast charging and dedicated chargers can be built. So for fast charging we can build, and cost and thermal issues limit how much power the rectifier can handle. So thermal issues and all will be there. So we have to see it out. So 120 kilometer or 75 miles. I told you, 20 to 80 miles it will go. So when you see this connector, it is the DC connector. So this will be the picture of the pic of the DC connector in the electric well, CHAdeMO connector. Okay, the CHAdeMO connector will be having. Next. Okay, SAE, combined charging system. So combined charging system. SAE is yes, it is combined charging system. What we have is we have a combined plug and charging point are combined together. If you see here, I think it is visible. So directly we can go for the combination. Okay, combination of the combined charges along with the charging system. So that is the picture of this. So we'll not be having all these ideas. So I took the pic of all these things that I'm presenting. Okay, next one is the supercharger. So supercharger, I told you, that is a Tesla. Tesla company is going for that superchargers. So superchargers, what is that is, we are having a separate adapter and we are going to connect it. So Tesla company is being working for it. Okay. So a lot of Tesla motors are being used. So we are going for the superchargers. So the superchargers are DC. We are going to give supply, DC supply. So the charging, if you see, it is very quick. So I told you, the time it is of 20 minutes to 30 minutes, it will be charged. Okay, that is your superchargers. Next one is the inductive charging. So inductive charging, we are going to have that inductive charging. So what I told about the inductive charging, it is a wireless charging. I told you. It uses an electromagnetic field to transfer electricity to a plug-in electric vehicle without a card. So without card, what is it? We can, without any wires or something like that, we can connect. Okay, and it was installed in the year of 1990s itself. It is installed. So currently available plug-in vehicles cannot use inductor. So what is the case here is, one of the sir also asked. So wireless charging, we are just knowing, we are just gaining the knowledge, that's all. But practically, if you see, we cannot implement this majority. What is the thing is, plug-in electric vehicles are being employed, right? Plug-in electric vehicles are being employed, and this plug-in electrical vehicles are mostly of that connective types. We are not going to use for inductive types. Okay, we are going to use wires, and we are going to connect. So currently they are not available. So that is the thing, but we should have an idea, that's all. So wireless charging, you may go in research work also in these types of topics. Working on standard that may apply PEVs in future. So they are not implemented yet, but we can apply that inductive charging in PEVs in future. So you can take this as one of the research part of your work also, if you are a research scholar like that. You can additionally, you can include. Next, I told you about the chargers. We can classify into two types of chargers: onboard charger and offboard charger. So onboard charger, what is offboard? Just I'll give you what is onboard, what is offboard. But because all the 5 days you'll be learning all the details of the circuits and the power electronic components, everything you'll be learning everything. So just I'll give you the outlook of it. So I will also tell you the importance of onboard and offboard chargers. So onboard charger means we are placing onboard in electric vehicle. So it is placed in the electric vehicle. Onboard means it is placed in the electric vehicle. So why it is being more advantageous, because electric vehicle owners, they have the flexibility to charge or discharge their vehicles whenever an electric power outlet is available, right? When we have our the charger inside our vehicle itself, whenever we want we can charge, otherwise we can leave it. Okay, so it will be easy, and it will be more flexible for our electric vehicle owners. So that is the onboard charger. Onboard charger secure accurate voltage matching for electric vehicle battery. So voltage matching, what is voltage matching? That is very, very important, because I told you, from power source we are giving into the power grid. From power source, see the previous slides. So from power source we are giving into the power grid, and from the power grid the battery is charged, I told you. So power grid through the conductive coupling or inductive. So I told you, inductive coupling nowadays recently they have not implemented, but in conductive coupling. So what we are going to do, we are going to through conductive coupling the battery is charged. So the power grid voltage. So it has to match. So that is very, very important. So onboard charging will take that responsibility of 1 minute. So it takes the responsibility of matching the grid voltage. So power grid voltage with our vehicle voltage. So the grid voltage is generally fixed. So grid voltage mostly it will be fixed, but battery voltage is not fixed. Okay, it will vary from electric vehicle to vehicle. So for a electric vehicle, in the case of a scooter, it will be different. In the case of a car, it will be different. Okay, so it will vary based on our vehicle mode. The battery voltage will vary. Okay, so the grid voltage will be fixed. So what we have to do is we have to match the grid voltage with the battery voltage. So for that, this onboard chargers plays a very, very important role. Next, the onboard systems are precisely designed by EV manufacturers for each electric vehicle to meet the specific voltage requirements of the battery and the grid. So onboard chargers, so they are the chargers that are placed on board in the electric vehicle. They are placed inside the electric vehicle. So that is the thing here. So just it is a diagrammatic representation. I'm just giving you to make you to understand. So see here, entire thing. Okay, all the things will be discussed. We have been discussing in some other sessions. Rectifiers, DC to DC converters, everything will be there. So every all this setup, every setup is placed in the vehicle. Okay, that is your onboard charging. All the setup is placed in the vehicle. But in the case of off-board charging, when you see, the setup is not placed inside. Only this part, this blue color part, no, that is alone is in the vehicle. This entire setup, DC to DC converters, rectifiers, EMI filters, protection units, everything is placed outside. They are off-board, but mostly we prefer only on-board chargers. Okay, so these are the two types of chargers we are having. Next, we should know about the mode terminologies. What are we'll say mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. So what are all the terminologies which indicates? Each and every mode will be indicating. So each and every terms are important. Level 1 charger, level 2 charger, DC chargers. Okay, DC fast charging, mode 1, mode 2. So mode 1. So in mode 1, what is that voltage? Is 250 voltage is single phase, or 480 voltage 3 phase with the maximum current of 16 ampere. So the current, if you see, it is 16 ampere. It does not have any external control pins. So that is your mode 1. Separately, I have drawn given this diagram, and over also it is there. Okay. So some diagrams I took from that for your verification, for understanding. Next, mode 2, if you see, it is 250 voltage single phase or 480 voltage 3 phase with a maximum of 32 ampere. So mode 2 means it is current voltage, everything will be changing. For level 1, level 2 also current voltage, everything will have changes. Okay. Similarly, in the case of modes also, the modes, based on the modes, their particular voltage, current, phase, everything will change. Next, for mode 3, if you see, in mode 3, what is the 250 voltage single phase or 480 voltage 3 phase with the maximum current of 250 ampere. So current, if you see, it goes on increasing. 16 ampere for mode 1, 32 ampere for mode 2, and 250 ampere for mode 3. And finally, 600 volt and 400 ampere current for mode 4. It is a maximum voltage, maximum current you are getting, and it is more expensive. So if you see this diagram, so the first one is your mode 1. Mode 1, what is the direct connection? Everything is direct connection. So indirect connections through fast chargers we are giving this, but direct connections, if you see, current will be going on increasing. Okay, so the very high current is in the mode 4 compared to mode 1, mode 2, and mode 3. Mode 4 is having a very high current. So all these parameters, all these voltages, you should have an idea. Next comes that types of electric vehicle connections. Okay, this it's because you are having a electric vehicle, you are having a charger. I'm going to charge. So through some wires, I'm going to charge. Okay, because it is I told you, we are having the two types of. So this part, this is very, very important actually. One is conductive charging and wireless charging. In that conductive charging only every charging is being implemented using this conductive charging. Wireless charging, they are going, when the research is going on. Okay, but I'm also not having idea on that. Only the conductive charging, so we are having these 2-3 types. Okay, now in this conductive charging wires we are using. So these wires, how it is connected to the electric vehicle, based on that I can classify. So First one is case A, connection of electric vehicle to the AC supply network means utilizing a supply cable and a plug permanently attached to the electric vehicle. So when you see the diagram, when you see this picture, the electric vehicle cable is permanently, it is attached to the electric vehicle. So whenever I want, I'm going taking out the charger, I'm putting it, and I'm again making the charger kept inside this electric vehicle. So that is case A. Next case, connection of an electric vehicle to the AC supply network utilizing a detachable cable assembly with the vehicle connector and AC supplement. Detachable cable. So it can be connected. It can be connected or it can be disconnected on both the vehicle side as well as the charging station. So first one, if you see, it is permanently attached. First type of connection, permanently attached. Second one, when you see, it can be easily detachable on both the sides, from the electrical vehicle side as well as from the charging station. It can be detached on both the sides. Next, third type, connection of an electric vehicle to an AC supply network utilizing the supply cable and vehicle connector permanently attached to the supply. This is like our petrol bunk. So petrol bunk, what we'll be having? We'll be having a petrol bunk, and we'll be having some cables connected to that, and through that particular tubes, you'll be using the petrol, and it will come out, right? So that wires are permanently connected to the charging station. So similar as that of the petrol station. Okay. So only case C is allowed for mode 4 charging. So this type of mode 4 charging. So totally we are discussing about that modes, no, mode 1, mode 2. So all these keywords we should have an idea. What is mode? What is meant by level? Okay, what is meant by charging? So everything we should have an idea. So case C is allowed only for mode 4 charging. So that is the thing here. Next one is your facilities. Facilities for recharging, re-energizing batteries. So what are all the facilities you have? First one is slow charges. So slow charges, now battery charges up to 0.1 to 0.2 centigrade. What is that cases? 80 to 90% of the charge, 4 to 8 hours. So slow charging means, already I told you, it can take up to 12 hours, and best for preserving the life of any kind of battery. So battery life can be preserved in the case of this type of charging. Next, in the case of fast charging, it can be either DC or AC. Batteries are fully charged within 1 hour. It can be charged. So I told you around 3 hours, no? So 3 hours, 2 hours, or 1 hour, it can be charged, and it needs external charger which converts AC to DC. So for AC supply, we want to convert the AC to DC. So that is the case of fast charging. And swapping. Swapping is, what is it? Swapping a discharged battery with fully. Swapping means, what is the meaning? We are taking out. We can replace a battery. When we have a battery and that battery is charged, fully charged. So when we go, we can remove our battery and we can replace that battery and we can connect. So that is a swapping. So swapping of that discharged battery with fully charged one, it take only few minutes. So we are not going to charge, right? We are just going to replace the battery, and it eliminates waiting time for the drivers. So battery cost is separated from the vehicle cost. So here we are, this is the battery is owned by an energy operator, minus gives charged battery as a service. So we can just exchange the batteries. So that is one case that we call it as swapping. And then for the last one is slow charging with range extension. It is similar to slow charging. Range extension also similar to the slow charging. Okay, what is the type? What is that percentage? Everything will be same as that of our slow charging. So that is the overall view of electric vehicle. I think so. I think I have gained some information. So that question. Have any doubts? We'll have a discussion, because all are new to this electric vehicle, and we are going to have a discussion, and it is a very interesting topic. Each one of us can have that have that involvement, and we can do, and we can learn a lot, because this electric vehicle will be again boom our EEE department. That is the main thing. Okay. So what is the application of wireless charging in an electric? Yes, sir, that one I told you. So wireless charging nowadays, I'm also not having that much idea of that. But what is the thing is, they are research work is going on for implementing the plug-in electric vehicles for using as an wireless charging. So that is the thing. Nowadays, we are going only for the wired charging. Chargers, charging, everything is done. Thank you very much. If you have any doubts, you can ask, or we'll wind up the session.
Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can ask now. Okay, thank you, ma'am. It was an useful and interactive session for all of us. Thank you for presenting.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all for joining. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dear participants, on behalf of Panimalar Institute of Technology, I would like to thank you all for the successful completion of phase 2 for this electrical vehicle technology STTP. So in a short while, you will be receiving the feedback link. It is an overall feedback link. Following the feedback, you have to answer some of the questions and then you have to submit. So after submitting, you can leave the session. So please wait for the link. Overall feedback link has been posted. Everyone try to send the feedback and also try to answer the questions. Following your feedback, there will be a set of questions. So you have to answer it. And regarding the certificate, you will be receiving in your corresponding mail what you are registered within a week. The link has been posted. I think everyone can able to access it.